Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Computer Wednesday, we're going to talk about is Android becoming closed source? So let's dive deep into it. Now, history of Android is that it was created in 2003, long ago, by four dudes, basically Andy, Rich, Chris, Nick. These four individuals created that. Now, be mindful, this is the time where pocket camera, cool pics, those were becoming a big deal. So the original operating system was supposed to be for camera, and you can see that this is the only operating system that understand how a photograph should be named. It uses this code. Codex. Look into your file in your smartphone, the actual file name. Download anything from website is generally a garbage name or a giant test string. This is the only one that understands how a photograph should be mentioned. It's like year, month, date, symbol, then time. The only thing I wished it was like there were more symbol, because again programmers have this brain damage. They think that all humans are programmer, and it's like, oh, I can study a like a 17 string and then I understand where I'm supposed to put symbol. Other people are like, symbols were invented so you can put it there. So year, after 4 digit, put a symbol. Month, put a symbol. Put symbol. Have different symbol. And yes, I have tested all the symbols. It works in all operating systems. Some symbols are custom, but those are normal. I do wish that for to be universal. Even my hyper expensive A7 Mark V still has 3-letter prefix and a serial number. Why? Thankfully, at least somebody was like, okay, let's go to 1990. In video, I have this option. Although, again, programmer have the brain damage of thinking everybody is a programmer. There is no symbol. It does give me the string, but there is no number. Sorry, symbol. So year, month, it just looks like a long number. You can't read it at a glance. So that's the whole point. Is like, it was a camera operating system, had one of the most important feature for long-term archiving, and still has not become de facto standard in all cameras, but Android has that. Better than nothing. So Google bought them in August 2005 for $50 million. So some serious chunk of money back then. And Android team, they not only bought the IP, they bought the whole puppy, the whole thing. They bought it. And basically, the whole team that was working on it, they're just like, yo, come in house. So that's how it started. Now, why Google bought it? Be mindful, this is very early era. There were Symbian OS, there were Oxygen OS, there was Windows, early Windows, portable Windows NX, XE or something. Basically, there were hardware that were becoming, basically smartphones foundation was being laid down, and Google wanted something to dive deep into that ecosystem. So they realized a problem. They were not big enough. Be mindful, this is early days. Now they are big enough, but back then they were not big enough. So they had a paradox. If they created an operating system, why would somebody else use it? So they made an open source operating system. So the idea was, we already built a good functional operating system. You can integrate it with it without too much hassle, because again, it's open source. You can dive deep into it. You can optimize it and tailor it to your specific need. And it also makes app ecosystem far more easier, meaning college student can build application just as a fun side quest, and you can make it easier in education pipeline. So things become far more smooth operation. And it was a very big gamble for them, and it paid off. Is the reason why they are a multi-trillion-dollar company, which, mind you, even with our hyperinflation that we have been going through last few years, there are still only few companies that have reached that. I'm talking in 2026. So that's a big deal. And why they are so popular? Because they have mobile, TV, tablets, set-top box, and computers. And yes, PC became a big deal because there was a narrow window of opportunity. Education sector is Apple dominated. Apple worked really hard the early years. I'm talking like, blue Apple box era, to make sure that kids got used to Apple. So they bought Apple when they had money, and it worked. Google was like, okay, I got you. And they're like, okay, what if we have cheap system, which was completely controlled by us, so you do not have to worry about pawn and all that, and we'll just take care of it software wise. They did that, and pandemic happened, and this was the golden opportunity for them. They flooded the market, colleges and universities with that, and tada, schools specifically, every kid now knows how to deal with Chromebooks. So yes, PC, literally we are waiting for one generation to phase out, and it's like, tada, everybody is using Chromebook. And again, you are already using Chromebook. So, and that's why Google is merging the core, kernel level core of both of these puppies, Android and Chrome OS. So It became a very big deal. However, you must ask, okay, if it was open source, so how were they were making money? Bill Gates became the richest man in the 90s. And early 2000s because he was selling operating system. If Google was giving it away after paying 50 million for it, how the heck they were making money? They created what we call perfect tracker. They figure out they were a good search engine back then, but their main bread and butter was advertisement. Perfect tracking allows you to run much better advertisement than anybody else. Why do you think they bought YouTube? And monetization service, meaning if you are using any services, app stores and all that, any sort of payment, they will take a small chunk out of it. Although this was not a shining early days, simply because this was the big difference in early years between Apple and Android. Android had like every app was available for free, so quality of service was very poor. Apple, because you had to pay and like free apps were almost discouraged, so there were like, yeah, there were only few apps, but they were paid apps, so people were paying. Apple was getting its cut, so it economically made sense in the early years. But this catch up right now, it's like, bro, I am the daddy. So development was quite well, and again, the 50 million spent was like well spent. However, a dark cloud started to roam around 2010, because you have to understand, government started to lose control on the narrative. Before that, government was able to control what you thought, and after 2010, they could not, because more and more people were coming online and they were spending more time on the internet than in the legacy media world. So government was losing control, and government was like, no, 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 mine has to be bigger than yours. I'm supposed to only one effing you. You're not supposed to like question my authority. So basically they had a itch to control this ecosystem, and the biggest market for that ecosystem was mobile devices. And people in this company heads were also the problem, because unless you agree to their philosophical view, their political view, you are wrong. So, and again, they are like rich. So be mindful whenever somebody reaches this level of position of power, this level of influence, it gives you a God complex. It's like, it's the position of power's penalty itself. Like you will have that. It's not like, okay, this person got corrupted. No, that position is the corruption. It will create this issue. That's why we create checks and balances to reduce the consequences. But they were not happy with it, because you must have remembered there was a time in YouTube, left and right media were fighting, and left was losing badly, given the fact that left was the owner of it. So how the heck that happened? There was a liberals view. It was a whole desagle back in the days, few years ago. So what had happened, because they built the algorithm optimized for engagement, and in right-wing circles they were like Jordan Peterson, there were like far more engagement there. Red pill communities, of course, there were far more engagement in that. So that started to create a feedback loop where more and more, and people were getting, going from left to right. And YouTube was like, what the hell? That cannot happen. And they tried desperately to change it. But again, it did not stick, because again, you want money. Money means people have to buy something that they are happy with, meaning their attention. If they are not dumping their attention, if they are like, I'm not enjoying YouTube, they're going to put it down. You can't sell ads then. So this sort of thing has happened, like we've been through this. And both of them got in marriage together, they both got into bed together, and they're like, okay, we're gonna restrict everything, we're gonna control everything, we're gonna monitor everything. And they will all do that in the name of safety for the children. Like that's how government Fs you. It's like, think of the children, let me F you. So it's been there. Be mindful. It's been there, it was there, it is there, it will be there. So those who are willing to give up liberty for security will have, nor do they deserve either one. We've been through this. We've been through this, like this artificial ID. Why they want ID so badly? Because again, popular people show their face. Like I'm showing my face. Why do you need to know who is the commenter? So government can suppress dissent. So that's the whole point. And this is the meme that is very awesome now. It's like, toilet got like all glass walls. It's like, we have updated our privacy policy because of you. So laws were written, privacy policies were updated, and translation, you are property of them. Flat out. No BS, no horseshit. You are property of them. The end. I'm not gonna apply butter to it. You do not exist. You do not have rights, nothing. Government can do whatever they want to do to you, and corporations will do whatever they want to do. Now, this was a slow erosion, let that be very clear. The reason why we did not reacted very strongly is simply because it was not an overnight change. It was not like, okay, we have everything is nice, everything is dandy, and then we're boom, missile. No, It was a very slow thing. For example, in 2010, because again, some people did fry their phones using ROM change. It's like, okay, for safety and security, we're gonna lock the bootlocker. Think about it. This is a computer. How the heck I cannot decide what is installed on it? Think about it. This is a computer, not just like hee hee ha ha way. This is an actual functional computer. I cannot decide what I put on it. So, and again, back in the 90s, it made sense because you had like, clock chips running those things. So it made sense. Digital diary. But again, you had full freedom. Like computers, again, be mindful, these have more RAM, more CPU, more capacity than many computers, but you could have installed anything on your computer. Like you could have bought a Microsoft box from Dell and then like, you know what, me not feeling it, I'm gonna install Linux or Temple OS, whatever have you. You could have done that, but they removed that. That happened in 2010, but like people were like, who cares, update and all that, but you lost control of your own goddamn hardware. Think about it. For servers, that's not necessary. Server, you can install whatever Linux distro you want, or even Windows if you want to. And that runs the backbone of security, and somehow that's fine, but your mobile phone needs it. It's like, again, slow boiling of the frog. And in 2017, they made basically side loading difficult. And I have some idea of that time because before that, I was working as a game artist. So just after completing my institute, I was working with a programmer. Me as an artist, we were developing a game. And it was super easy back then. It was like, you create the file, put in your mobile phone, install it. And in 2017, they realized if everybody start to do that, again, some people were misusing, but that's life. Freedom always comes with consequences. But they were like, you know what, how do we make it bad? So they started to throw up enough error warnings, even though they were saying normal things. This is not validated by Google. But again, the way the text imaging, the warning, everything was designed such a way that it will put friction. And that's the whole point. Friction at the right place or wrong place, depending how you are, which side of the battle you are, it could destroy a system. So over time in 2017, they're like, yeah, we're gonna slowly chip away the idea like you can install whatever the hell you want on Android. And by 2027, meaning next year, it will be flat out blocked. Meaning same way they blocked the bootloader, they will block any an app installation method. And again, because they control the whole stack, they can brick your phone. So this happened, past tense, the end. And in 2023, they passed it like developer has to almost give us our ID and be like, okay, who are you? What can you do? And you're like, okay, it's for liability. No. That's how they sell you to it. But again, anytime, have they ever acted on like, okay, this app was leaking security? Anything actually happened? No, it's all the same thing. Like, Chinese people have a very good saying. It's like, China CCP put so many security cameras. All the crimes that still happen, nobody cares. It's like, what's the point of those security cameras? It's just that so they can F you whenever they want to. It's not for them. It's for you to be F'd. So in 2023, they are like, okay, you have to show ID. And in 2027, which is they're gonna next year, so to say, all developers, meaning you can't have a third-party app store anymore. Like no, we decide what is installed and we approve whether it happens or not. So fundamentally, that's not going to happen. It has already happened. The paperwork has already been filed. And it was all done under the name of security. Bend over and let me F you for security. And you don't control your phone. That's the reality of it. Like, I paid a boatload of money for this. I do not control it. Google does. Samsung does. And again, Samsung does not have that much because again, they make money from hardware. Google does make money from my attention. So Google is like, okay, let me control. So that's a slow erosion. And it has already happened. Like, we've been there. Like, frog has been boiled long ago. So what can we expect in the future? Well, reality is we are too far gone in the domain of basically tracking, privacy, government, companies. Done. It's like, at this point, fighting about it is like useless. There were at least 10 to 20 people who were talking about this long ago, but 10, 20 people in like, even in America, that's like 300 million people to 10. That's not enough. So fundamentally, they want to know what you are doing on the device you paid for, exactly what and they want to block it in the name of safety. So, and again, let that be very clear. They will always use this word safety to bend you over. Basically, it's almost the same thing. The children who are retarded, who always think like, government should the only one who should have pew pew because other people can shoot you. It's like, look into entirety of human history. Governments are the biggest pew pew user. Like, if you look into large numbers, as in like billions of people on this planet, who are their biggest threat source? It's always the government. And it has been since thousands of years. Before government, it was kings. It was empires. They decide who gets to live who. And the only time, the pew pew became the great equalizer, and thankfully, Americans had enough brains, like, no, this has to be there. It's like, but what about children? But what about children? It's like 300 children or 3 million dead soldiers, which includes children. So again, entirety of human history. If government is the only one that has the pew pew, you are the one who's going to die. And the same logic is being, but what about the children? It's like, it's parents' job. And again, if you want to make sure that children are protected, here's the deal. Here's the deal. Children cannot use smartphone. Like, again, we have the same thing. Children cannot drink alcohol. Children cannot drive. How about smartphone? But that will not allow them to milk money. Think about it. Like, we have the solution. And again, every child psychologist will say that is an awesome thing. If you can remove smartphones from the hands of children, that would help them a lot. If you do not, they will lose comprehension. This will not develop anymore. So fundamentally, that train has passed long ago at this point in time. And why none of us acted? Why only 10 to 20 people were screaming about it? Too much comfort. It's the same thing. Like, that's why fundamentally on a principle level, I hate Apple. It's like this whole idea, I dislike this idea that you decide for me what is comfortable. You decide for me how should I do something. I'm like, nah, man, nah, I decide. Like, again, bad things could happen, but fine, I'll deal with it. So, and here's the deal. The tragic part of it is that we've been through this. Again, it's old. We don't have enough wisdom left anymore. For example, during Rockefeller, like, this was a big scandal. How the heck a company became, like, so massive, they were like almost controlling all of it, so to say, in 1890s. And again, they created laws because this was so bad, so evil. And you have to understand, many times people are just like, oh, this is legal, so it's allowed. No. Legality is just if you mess something up bad enough, only then laws are written. You do not need laws for everything because you're not supposed to be bad enough. You're not supposed to be like, okay, what if I create this crime? It's like, what if you don't create crimes? How about that? How about you know that what you are doing is bad. You are like underselling your product so you can kill your young competitors. How about you don't do that? How about you play fair? But if you do not play fair, again, what's the point of a game if you can't play fair? But you have such a small PP energy. It's like, what if I F the young competitors so there will not be any competitor in the future and I'm going to F the country? He did that, almost succeeded. But again, thankfully enough people back then had wisdom. They're like, yo, no. They're like, no. And be mindful, the sole reason this company exists, be mindful, this is what you call a serpent eating its tail kind of logic. Whenever a company starts, they are the young one. But once they become big enough, they become the devourer. They're like, okay, what if I'm going to destroy all the companies? What if I like F them everybody? It happens. That's why I said it's the position of power. That's why your civilization needs good wisdom and checks and balances. If you do not have that, you F'd. Like, for example, Bill Gates was like roasted. Like, you should see that. He was roasted. And again, his deal, why he was roasted? Because he bundled Internet Explorer in Microsoft. That's how tiny the infraction was. But they fired missiles at him. And again, that's the reason why you have Google and Apple. And again, he was so shaken. It was bad. It was bad. It was brutal. Expensive also. And Steve Jobs' company was poo-poo at that point in time. It was almost about to go. So Steve Jobs was like, okay, called him. It's like, bro, you gotta give me some money. It's like, why? You're my competitor. It's like, you know what? A crippled competitor is far better than no competitor. The moment it became no competitor, you will fall back to this and missiles will be fired again. So he literally bailed Apple out. Not even joking, happened. So, but what do we have now? Companies are like, I'm gonna become the God Emperor because of you. Like, Google is like, okay, we are not a monopoly, so let's call it Alphabet. So F you. Facebook, we are not Facebook, we are Meta, so F you. Like, I love this thing. Like, this was so amazing. It's like, oh, you spied on it, you broke every law. Be mindful, every law that was written, you broke it all. What's the penalty? He was like, bruh, stop bitching, man. Why are you bitching? Here's $500 million. Shut up and die. Shoo, shoo. Like, hundreds of billions of dollars in profit. And it's like, shoo. I'm like, where are the men who had this? Where are the men who had this, or like taming this sort of demon? So fundamentally, if a civilization loses wisdom like that, it always falls back to the same thing. It's like why Soviet Union was like, okay, what if I F you? It's like, no, people will not bend over. It's like, but in the name of safety, You know why KGB has the ability to hear everything? Safety. I have to give respect. Like whatever their personal realities were, they had some wisdom. When they realized, like America's founding father, they had some wisdom. It's like, and then companies at this point in time, uh, they are untouched anymore. Like again, this was the like biggest thing. Like you did something illegal, they're like, yeah, F you, man, F you. Because again, if you like, oh, children protection, yes, they flat out, you cannot sell to a mobile phone cannot be there on the children. Like same way you blockade cars or alcohol or things of that nature. All problem, it's like psychologically all the problem would be solved. But it's like no, but they need to learn how to use it. It's like the people who made the goddamn devices, they did we good, we got this, we'll survive. Actually, we'll be far better off, but you get the point. So future is effed at this point in time. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it because again, government and businesses, they're supposed to be fighting each other. They're not supposed to get in bed together because if they do, we will be bent over and without lubrication. So this was my presentation on like what the hell is happening. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me disappointment. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free. And as always, thanks for watching.